Okay, guys, alternate ending. Take 43.
With so many movies on the net and TV, it's kinda hard being up and film savvy. Do you catch a show while you're on the go? And how do you know what to keep or what to throw? How do you know what to keep or what to throw? Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Tune in, tune in, tune in to alternate ending. Now! Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of Alternate Ending.
Welcome to Alternate Ending. We're discovering good movies, one bad movie at a time. I'm film school dropout Robert Jarasinski. Across from me is our casual moviegoer Carrie Jarasinski and our very own critic in residence Tim Brayton. With Superfly dealing its way into theaters again this weekend, we wanted to look at other reimagined movies with our top 5 remakes. Did you like what I did there?
I was... Yes, because I was going to say shooting up its way, but it's not about heroin, it's about cocaine, and you can't say it's snorting its way into theaters. That doesn't make any sense.
I actually Googled Urban Dictionary for drug dealing synonyms, and I couldn't come up with a good one. There's quite a few.
I imagine. Half of Urban Dictionary is about drug use, and the other half is about cunnilingus.
What's the parallel again? What movie are we talking about?
Superfly.
Oh, Superfly. That's a drug movie? Okay.
Yeah, it's about a drug dealer who is Superfly.
But
sequel to Superbad?
No.
Remake
of Superfly.
Of Superbad. Of Superfly, obviously.
Yes.
Superfly.
There is no Superbad at all.
This. But there's drugs in Superbad.
Unless you mean bad in the sense of very cool and good, in which case Superfly is super bad.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
That's his thing.
And we'll get to that later.
Except his name is not Superfly. His name is Youngblood Priest, which is an excellent name.
I know you love those names.
It's a good name.
But first, Tim, I'm noticing that normally you come to the podcast with nothing.
I've been writing my notes on my forearm for the last month and a half because I've been sans laptop. But now, as you see, reborn from the ashes, I have my very, very fancy ThinkPad, a refurbished 2015 model, no less.
What are you going to do with all the possible information that you could garner on this episode?
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Garner wasn't the right word.
Garner's a weird word.
Garner wasn't the word.
Garner to get.
Meaning it's at your fingertips. You can access information.
I will be able to immediately correct you rather than having to take 10 seconds to correct you.
You take much less than that without a computer.
Okay, well, so maybe I'll correct you before you start.
I'm noticing it's not a Mac.
It's not a Mac.
So you got a Windows thing going on here.
No. I have gotten out of the corporate world, man.
What else is there?
I'm a Linux guy now.
Okay.
I have Linux.
Linux is a coding system.
I've always heard. I always thought this was made up, that people are actually Linux people. This is a thing?
It's apparently a thing.
Okay.
And now I'm one of them.
Okay.
Let me see your desktop.
My desktop is this picture of a waterfall.
Oh, so is that what you call that?
I am running Linux Mint, which is a Linux distribution. Distribution is the word that we Linux guys use to describe different versions of Linux.
I feel like it's too soon to call yourself a Linux guy.
No, I'm a Linux guy.
How many weeks does it require to be one?
Well, apparently it takes less than one.
Okay.
Because that's how long I've had this, and I'm a Linux guy.
That's who you are.
Now.
Okay.
So it's pretty sweet. Because
what is, for those who may be listening who don't know what Linux is, give us the quick, what is it?
So
for Rob.
If you use a computer and you're not a sheep and you think for yourself and you don't want the government in your back pocket, you use Linux. If you're okay just letting Steve Jobs' ghost finger fuck you up the butt, then you can stick with Mac.
That's all I want.
Okay,
actually.
well, because you're a sheeple.
Yeah, no,
I'm not a sheeple because I'm a Linux guy now.
I feel like you're not actually going to know how to log in based on what I know about your tech.
But I'm a Linux guy.
Okay.
You have to do things with code. If you want to check your email, you need to go in and write 15 lines of code.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Nice. Yeah,
Tim, sounds awesome.
Tim, just so you know,
great user experience.
Your computer's not actually on yet.
But maybe you can't see it.
That's right.
Because you're not a Linux guy.
Because no fingers are yet in my butt.
Exactly. Well, because you don't. It's like the Emperor's Naked show, whatever that was. The Emperor's New Clothes.
Yeah.
You're still one of the courtiers seeing the Emperor with his clothes on.
That's exactly who I want to be.
And my computer is naked.
Well, welcome to the Linux Club, Tim. Shall we talk a little bit about movies?
I suppose.
All right, with our worth mentioning
movies are way too popular, and
let's talk about Linux.
As a Linux guy, I don't like things that are popular. So let's instead talk about making our own beer.
Oh, that's a good one.
You're a total hipster right now. Let's jump into our worth mentioning segment. What is the worth mentioning segment of the movies we've seen since the last episode? Which are the ones we want to talk about most? They could be great movies. They could be terrible. We share them either way. Care, how many movies have you seen since the last episode?
2.
Me too. I think we've seen the same
You
movies.
as well?
I don't know if you... Yeah, I guess we almost made it
I almost didn't make it through Tomb Raider with... Who was that girl?
Alicia Vikander.
Yep. Almost didn't make it through that, but thankfully woke up and watched it again the next day. Watched it twice.
It's really nice that Amazon gives you that 48-hour window
Yeah, they
on
know me.
rentals.
I
Because
feel
we'd
like
be
they know me.
screwed. We'd be screwed if it was 24 hours.
No,
We'd never,
I'd never see a complete movie
rental.
for sure. And then caught Incredibles 2 as well. Is it The Incredibles or just Incredibles?
Just Incredibles.
Incredibles 2 as well.
Nice. Tim, how about you?
Well, I haven't actually watched any movies. I have, however, played several text-based video games. No. So I have seen plenty. Let me count. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got a computer now, so I don't have to memorize this shit. I can just
I like
come
it better
and
when
do
you
it.
memorized it. It made you seem cooler.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9.
Okay. So drop off from your 13
It's
the
a
last
drop.
2
Well,
weeks
it's
in a
been
row.
a shorter week. We're recording this a bit earlier.
So
than
which
usual.
one do you want to talk about first?
Well, I figure since we're here to talk about movies inspired by, or our topic was inspired by Superfly, I saw Superfly, the remake. So for those of you who are not up on your 1970s blaxplotation cinema, Superfly from 1972, directed by Gordon Parks Jr., the son of Gordon Parks, who directed Shaft and more or less invented blaxploitation as like a thing. So this 1972 film, Superfly, is about a drug dealer named Youngblood Priest who works out of Harlem, is done. Like he's got everything he ever wanted, and he realized that it's not enough, so he wants to get out of selling drugs. So he needs to make one last huge deal to get all the money he needs to retire. And of course, things go wrong. So this new film, which is directed by someone who calls himself Director X, he apparently does rap and hip hop music videos. Very similar plot. A Youngblood Priest is once again our protagonist. This time he is played by a relatively new actor whose name I'm quickly looking up now because I don't have to memorize it, so I can just do it on my computer.
It's a crutch.
It's a crutch. Trevor Jackson is his name.
Sure. What else is he in?
I don't know. Stuff.
You would have known without your computer.
Maybe
your
I would
Linux
have
man
maybe
computer.
He's nothing. He's actually not in anything anyone has ever seen.
Okay.
So it's now set in Atlanta. Once again, Youngblood Priest wants out. Once again, his big, huge score involves getting the wrong people pissed off. A lot of woe and misery and bloodshed later. You know, he finally succeeds or doesn't in breaking out of the life of being a drug pusher to the poor black community around him. So it's a movie that was okay.
Uplifting?
Is it drama?
More than it should be, actually.
Okay.
So to Carrie, I'd say it's uplifting in ways that the original was not, and I think that's a problem. Because I feel like it doesn't really have a handle on what sort of story it's trying to tell. The original is telling a fairly cynical story about like the rot of urban spaces, and this is telling a much more like glamorous version. It reminds me a great deal of the 1983 version of Scarface, and that it's sort of presenting a quote unquote moralistic but pretty glamorized version of drug dealing. And to your question, Rob, it is a combination of drama and action movie. And if it were a combination of drama and drama, it would also be better. Because the action movie third act is a big problem. Like, it loses its way a lot. That being said, I thought Trevor Jackson was great. I thought Jason Mitchell, who was in Straight Outta Compton, who plays Priest's like right-hand man, Eddie, phenomenally good performance. Both the comic relief and also kind of the like moral center, but like the anti-moral center, kind of, if you will, of the movie. Some really, really cool lighting. It was a very beautiful movie, although a little bit too digital cinematography-y. I'd say it's worth it if you're like into hip hop and rap culture, especially like the Atlanta iteration thereof. It's a love letter to that. And I'm not like, it's not my thing, but I totally see where it would be someone's thing. And it was surprisingly more in depth with its characters than I expected it to be, although less than I maybe wanted it to be.
Worth it in theaters or wait until you get... Okay.
Wait.
How about you, Care?
Oh, and you do, of course, get to hear Curtis Mayfield's wonderful, wonderful songs, Superfly and Pusher Man, in the movie.
Of course, you gotta
see that. That's worth the big screen.
It's a hallmark of
having a chance to hear Pusher Man
If you care about that,
on
see
the
it
big
on the
screen.
screen.
If you have heard Pusher Man, you care about Pusher Man.
How does it go? I have never heard that.
I can't sing it because I do
It's
not
rap?
have the no. It's soul,
You always want Tim to sing,
and
on
I do
there.
not
No,
have
I love
nearly.
it.
I don't have a velvety enough voice to do Pusher Man.
I was like actually
justice.
slipping things into that wine with the hopes that you would.
It didn't make my voice more velvety.
No. That's too bad.
Also, the N word is in the second line of the song, and
I'm not a big fan of that one.
I'm
yeah.
not a fan of
You
saying
could come
it.
up with like a different code word though, you know? I don't know. No one would know. So I saw. Should we talk about Incredibles 2?
No, we'll get
that's
to it. We'll
obviously.
get there. Let's talk about Tomb Raider.
No.
Really quick, just really fast.
No.
Because it just came
It
out
exists.
on. It exists. It just came out for rental on Amazon, so people are
Okay.
thinking about it.
Okay.
Are
Should
they?
Should they?
I don't know.
What do you think, Harry?
So here's my question. I haven't seen the Angelina Jolie version of
They're
this.
very bad.
Oh, they are too.
They're very-
Rob
So-
disagrees. Rob
So-
was like,
no,
oh.
it's not that I disagree. I think that there's a place for them above this particular
So
movie.
here's Rob's
might be
synopsis.
the case, but
Here's
they're
Rob's
very
review
bad.
of this movie. She's not buxom enough. He kept saying that.
I
He said
didn't-
that at
that's
least.
not what I
That's
said.
exactly what you said.
That was one comment of many that
No,
I made.
it was
I said
yeah.
that Alicia Vikander, the way she's she's not my Laura Croft. Like she should not
Because
be Laura
she's not
Croft.
buxom
No,
enough.
it was not just that. It was the
what you said.
the little grin that that Jolie makes when she's kicking ass. Like I'm gonna kick your ass.
He thinks
I'm
Jolie
better
was
than you.
tougher,
She's
like it needed to be tougher.
Like this was just too
Well,
realistic.
It's based on the newer games, which I believe do actually go in the direction of giving her a smaller bust. So that's
It's
Yeah,
not
right,
the bust. I
right,
don't.
no.
Damn it.
This is what he
It's
said.
going to look very poorly on me. Directed by Roar Uthag, who
He's
brought
like,
us
we
The
could've
Wave.
got Dolly
That's
Parton
not a
in
real
here.
name.
Roar Uthag. Yeah,
Roar
it's
Uthag?
Nordic. He's Norwegian. He did The Wave. Have you seen The Wave?
I've not
Rob's
seen
seen
the
the
Good,
wave.
good flick. I wouldn't see that this would be his good first entry into the U.S. filmmaking. Again, starring Alicia Vikander, Dominic West, and Walton Goggins, who just doesn't get a lot to do.
Walton
And
Goggins
I love
is
Walton.
so. Anytime he shows up, he's one of those
Is that his
character
dad
actors.
or her dad? I mean,
No.
Who is that
He's
guy?
the
bad guy?
ba-
He
main
looks like a
villain.
Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
If you know that there's a person named Walton Goggins
Yeah,
in the
he does a
cast,
little, yeah.
the one who looks like
With
a
the
Walton
mullet, yeah.
is
It's just Alicia does not represent the game character that I like. She needs to be badass.
Sure.
And like in the opening scene, she loses in a like one-on-one fight in a like a sparring match. And it's like she wouldn't lose, and if she lost, she'd be like pissed about it, and like she's like, oh, I guess I
I'll
lost.
go
like,
with the
I mean, I guess to me that the issue is if her breasts were that large, she would tip forward.
That's so sad. This time, so the whole time, Rob's like, he commented on it more than once. He's like, he kept using the word buxom. I'm like, can we get a new
so
word,
that is
man?
also a hallmark
It
of
is
the Laura
a-
Croft character.
yeah,
I just
sure,
want to say that.
sure.
So they did
Giant
write
rectangular boobs, because that's what you could do in
Where I was
1996.
like, I'm not sure if you understand what I mean, Carrie. So like,
He
pauses
means
the
that
movie.
he discovered
This-
he found the joys of self-pleasure whilst watching
I
someone playing
don't
Tomb Raider.
disagree, because he literally, like, I'm trying to doze off into sleep during somewhere in the second act, like peacefully, and Rob's like, no, I gotta just pause this. Let me just pause. Let me just pull up a clip from the other one, and let me pull up the video
Let me
game character.
let me pause it on her
Is showing you play videos of Tomb Raider your idea of foreplay?
I don't know. Right before I fall asleep, probably. I don't know. But I was like, leave me alone.
Isn't
I
it
get
the worst
it.
when you want to fall asleep during a boring movie and for whatever reason you can't?
Yeah, it is.
Well, what's interesting about Tomb Raider is, and really a sad state of affairs of video game movies. It was at one point prior to Rampage coming out
For like 3 weeks.
For like 3 weeks, it was the highest rated Rotten Tomatoes video game movie at 49%.
Yep.
So it lost out to Rampage when that came out. But
Which is still at like 51%.
I say pass on this movie, absolutely, especially if you're into Tomb Raider,
Boobs.
the video game,
Oh, I
or,
mean, yeah,
or
the
into boobs.
video game, yeah.
2 reasons to pass.
Right.
What a waste. I just, so much potential.
Right,
They should have
right.
just done something different. Well,
Sounds
shall we? Should we
good,
talk a
Rob.
little Incredibles 2?
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
We are all fresh from watching it together as
We
a
did.
family.
We saw it. We joined forces to see the preview show on
Kids and all.
Thursday. The Jarozinski children, the Jarozinski parents, myself. It was a big
All
old
3 of my kids were there.
exciting experience.
Because Rob's my kid.
I know.
Yeah,
I knew
okay.
we were going with that. I mean, now we're talking about how your kid likes boobs, and I just put it.
And then it got weird.
It makes
that
it weird.
makes it weird for sure. What? So I wanted to ask you guys immediately what you guys thought, and both of you guys gave me the cold shoulder and were like, well, we gotta wait for the podcast. Where are you guys on this movie?
Better than the first one.
Whoa.
I think it might be 2.
Really?
Yep.
So I had to sneak out to take Alice to the restroom. So that
You missed the scene that made it better. No.
I think
Which, I was
possibly.
like, yeah, you missed a big
I'm not.
one.
I don't know if I'm there. I need to. I need to
let
let
it
it simmer,
marinate.
marinate. a
Here's
little
where I am with it. It's funnier than the first one.
It is funnier.
It looks better. It is. I will say, flat out, this is the best lit CGI movie ever made. Like, it's not even a close race. This is a gorgeous movie. Oh my God, the lighting effects, the fire effects. There's this thing where, like,
There was more action, right?
that's what was going to be my next thing.
Sorry.
But the action is much, much better.
Much better.
The thing it doesn't have, and it's not a little thing, the first one had a very lovely, clear, symbolic story of family.
Yep.
Like, this is how families work, and it's sort of done this very... I think this film was trying to cover a lot, and it didn't cover everything equally as well. It doesn't have one thing, and the multiple things it has, some of them get a little bit short shrift.
Maybe.
And that for me was the why it may not make it. I haven't decided yet, but where it was trying to do too much with the message, or what message, like, is it trying to send? The first one was, like you said, very crisp and clear, family. This one's doing a lot.
I don't think this
a
one
lot
was
of metaphors
meaning
in
to do
here.
as much of a message.
Well, it
as
wasn't
the first
meaning
one.
to.
No, and I think
which I don't think reflects well.
I think so. The plot of this a little bit is, we come 14 years later and we meet this family again, and now
Well, we are 14 years
it's
later.
like
it literally
actually
takes place.
starts
Oh, right.
before the last movie ended.
yeah, exactly.
That's what Carrie meant to say.
That's what I meant to say. I had like a thing that was going to
Okay,
just come
so
out.
14 years later.
I just want to like preface
also
too.
2 seconds
Nothing
later.
on paper right now, so everything I'm saying off the cuff.
I have a computer if you want me to look stuff up.
Yeah, I will. That'd be great. Get your Linux code out. So,
If you want me to look something up on the internet, I do need to start now because it does take me about 14 minutes to type in the command lines.
just go. Start with my number 5. I don't know who directed.
C colon.
So, Sequel, yeah.
Execute.
All right.
No. Linux guys don't use C. We just have
it's not DOS?
We have an alphanumeric chain for all of our drives,
Okay.
man.
We now have a game that we're starting where we're going to see how many times Tim says Linux guy throughout the episode. Please start counting. Okay, so back to the synopsis of Incredibles 2. So this is now it takes us to where they've retired a bit. They've shut off.
Again, they haven't taken yet. It's literally follows.
just get to the plot
it's like-
synopsis.
but that's not the plot.
All right.
It picks up right where the last one left off.
Okay.
maybe
They
even
have
before.
unretired, but doing so knowingly made themselves fugitives from the law.
Exactly. And then they come back, and so the family's like, oh, they really want just the mom to come back. Wait.
There's this philanthropic Elon Musk type who like really loves superheroes and wants to like basically
Help
form
them.
his own pack. Like he wants to
Bring them back out of the shadow.
legalize superheroes.
So he decides that Elastigirl, Mrs. Incredible, the Helen Hunt. Or not Helen Hunt.
No,
Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter.
Holly Hunter. Jesus Christ.
What's wrong with
What
you?
is wrong with me? That is like a gigantic shift
Yeah,
in actress
I'm so
quality.
embarrassed.
I am too. Thinks that she's the most appealing and should be the face of his initiative.
Yeah. So then what happens? The dad, Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Incredible. So
Just
that
saw
makes
this
more
movie.
sense. That doesn't. I have nothing written down. I mean, I can
Amazing.
only get 50% right.
Incredible, Rob. Not amazing.
So Mr. Incredible has to stay home with the kids. Love that plot line.
Can I just say, Jack stole the show.
Jack
Favorite
really good.
favorite
Jack
character?
did sell the show.
Maybe?
Yeah. Jack was pretty awesome.
Least
Jack
favorite?
is the baby.
Least favorite character for me? Void.
Which one was Void?
Voiced by, and I feel bad picking on her.
Void
Is that
Void was
Violet?
she was like the teenager who does like Portal. Like her superpower is Portal.
I don't know why they gave Sophia Bush
Is she the-
so much work to do.
Is she the blue hair?
Blue hair,
Blue
yeah.
hair.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Portals.
Yeah, she was fine.
I didn't love any of those characters. I thought they were all a little one-notey, and none of them were very well voice acted.
Except Crush Guy at the end.
Crush
The guy
Guy's
from
last
Wisconsin?
bit, like his very last line was killed.
Is that the guy from Wisconsin?
No.
The Crush guy.
Oh,
Brick.
Brick was
Brick
from
was
Wisconsin.
from Wisconsin.
I loved that the audience was into that.
The audience was cheering. We obviously are in Wisconsin, so when
Yeah,
Brick
opening
announced
night, it was
from there-
nice to get the audience cheering when it started. The movie started.
Yep.
And
People,
when
yeah.
Wisconsin was yelled because we're in Wisconsin. And then when it wrapped, we got an applause.
There was. It was fantastic. A fantastic,
Great
fantastic movie. Worth seeing in theaters.
Oh my
absolutely.
God, worth seeing in theaters, worth seeing it on big screen, probably worth seeing it in 3D. We didn't, but I imagine it would
But we
be
saw it on a really big screen.
People predicting
Yeah.
might beat out Finding Dory. Is that where it's
Oh,
at? Tim, is that tracking? Is it tracking that?
It's going to have the opening weekend record almost for sure. By a lot. And that's for an animated film. The question is, and here's actually something I want to talk about a little bit. If it plays like a superhero movie, no. If it plays like a family cartoon, probably. It felt to me a lot like it was for adult superhero fans. And The Incredibles one is already maybe the Pixar film that feels the most like it's for grown-ups. This one even more so.
Yeah. With so for people
one thing,
who, yeah.
and I know it had so many swears for memeable people, but
guns.
They said hell.
They said hell.
And you don't say hell in the Pixar.
No.
But they did. And I was
not
okay with that.
They had actual guns that look like real guns, not squirt guns. I mean, you don't care about this, but they're like, there's a lot of dumbs and stupids and there's more sensitivity about that right now. And they kept saying, this is another stupid one, and I know you guys are going to laugh at me, but they kept being like, God. And usually I feel
that struck me.
Did that perk your ears?
That was one that was in the first one too. I remember there's a moment where the same character, Edna,
oh God.
She says something along the lines of oh God. And it struck me in the first one because that was already well, that's not something you typically hear in a children's movie.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the gosh.
Edna was awesome again. I love
Edna was my favorite character.
I always look forward to
maybe better than the baby.
No.
Edna's interactions with the baby were my
Edna's
favorite part.
interactions with the baby. So
I
think it's a must see, but don't take our word for it. Hear what our 3-year-old, not Tim and my 3-year-old.
It's okay. Rob and I have been married for 7 years. It's not a big thing. Carries our beard.
This is all.
I think we hired you in was it Minnetonka or something? You were on this side of the street selling your body. It was okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hear what our 3-year-old daughter Alice had to say about The Incredibles 2. Alice, what did you think about the movie?
Good.
You thought it was good?
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
It was really good because it was about superheroes.
Wasn't that cute? Wasn't that the cutest thing that you've heard?
Isn't she?
That's all you need to know about the movie.
I have to keep her now.
I wish she was our child.
Yeah.
I wish that you and I were lovers.
I can't stand her cuteness sometimes. It's too much.
Well, I'm sure a review of Incredibles 2 is coming to the site soon. Remember, you can find more details about all the movies we've watched at our website, alternateending.com. That's alternateending.com. Before we head to our break, you might be wondering about ways to support the show. You may want to make us watch a movie, pick your own episode topic. You can do it all from our Patreon site. Also, I want to thank all of our listeners who support the show and make their Amazon purchases through our site. Doing it is easy. Just go to our website, alternateending.com, click on our Amazon banner, and seamlessly go about your purchases. All proceeds go to making our show better. Not too many purchases this week. But
quality?
It's about quality, and it's fitting because this purchase was a video game of Jurassic World Evolution.
Okay.
Interesting. I've not heard of this video.
I have not heard of it. I would play it. I don't know. What are you doing? Are you trying to save dinosaurs? Are you blasting them?
It sounds like you're genetically engineering them.
Yeah.
That would be pretty
dinosaurs.
nice.
That would be if it was Spore but with dinosaurs. That would be a game I'd play.
You have to get the mosquito stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's
It's
the first 15 hours of the game are mosquito farming.
In
like
the
a JRPG.
Yeah.
We also had some Amazon free movie trials picked up, so thank you for all of those purchases. When we get back, our top 5 remakes. And welcome back to Alternating. We're talking about our top 5 remakes, movies, that have been reimagined, re-envisioned, other re's.
Sure.
Yeah.
Remade,
if
you will.
Remade. Maybe recast.
Sure.
In some cases.
Redone.
Potentially. Well, in most cases, recast.
Revive. I'd say in all cases.
In all cases, recast. You know what? I struggled with this because...
Well, not necessarily, because in the remake of Star Wars A New Hope, Harrison Ford still played Han Solo.
There you go.
That was a zing.
Yeah.
I just zinged The Force Awakens.
You just zinged it.
Because no one has ever said that online,
Yeah.
that it's basically a remake. It was clever.
Yeah. I'm with you.
All right.
I had
what
trouble...
were you saying about Momentum just a moment ago?
Yeah, I know.
I had trouble with remakes because we just did sequels. Top 5... Wait, what do we do?
That's different.
We just did sequels we want to see made.
We want to see made.
These are remakes that have already been made.
And here's the thing. As I was
Very
thinking
different.
about it, I think a lot of the sequels I wanted made, I actually maybe wanted remakes.
But they didn't make them, so it can't be on this list because this is for films that exist.
No, I know, but I was thinking, I kind of want to amend my list of sequels because, I remember going through it and actually listening back. We don't often listen back to our prior episodes for quality control or
For good
anything
reason.
like
all the time.
Tim
Sometimes when I'm
listens
in
to
a
fall
bath.
asleep. Yeah.
I just listen to my voice and touch myself.
You listen to.
But I
me
listened
talking.
back and I was like,
No, I listen to me talking.
I know you do.
like, I don't want to bring the cast back. Like, I want new people sometimes.
Well, that would
and
make
that's
it a remake.
That's what a remake is. So,
Okay.
Kara, how the question then became, what makes a remake, and then what makes it
Sure.
a top 5
Yeah.
remake? What makes it better?
It's pretty basic. I'm
Okay.
going to lay it out for you, and pretty simple. So a remake doesn't actually have to be better than the original. I don't have to have actually seen the original, and it can be a remake of a remake of a remake of a remake to be a remake.
Okay.
And yeah, and then in terms of ordering of this, it's sort of a hodgepodge.
So you're saying that you did not. You're going to be composing your list over the course of the episode.
It's like, no, a little bit, maybe. I had some trouble with this episode more than I've had before.
What did you do to find the remakes?
I Googled the full list like I do.
Wikipedia?
Wikipedia, the
There's
whole
like
list.
thousands of remakes.
I went through every
There's
single
a lot
one.
Of, there's a lot of surprising movies that I didn't realize
Yeah.
were remakes.
Oh yeah.
It's true. So
I think you got one of those coming up on my list.
Really?
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. One of them, we'll just get there.
Okay.
All right.
How about you, Tim? Criteria?
So my criteria were very opposed to Carrie's.
Opposed?
Not your criterion at all.
Oh.
So for one, I'm defining remake in the strictest possible way. The film is based explicitly and officially on another film,
Obviously.
not shared source material. And I think that's a huge
What does
thing.
that actually mean to you?
If two things were adapted from the same novel or from the same play or from the same short story or whatever, if it is not clearly indicated that the film is based on the original screenplay, and sometimes it is. Sometimes it's just credited to the source novel or whatever. Sometimes it actually says credited to this novel and also the original screenplay by whomever. If it's adapted from the same thing, I'm not counting it.
What's adapted versus remake? Oh, you've changed it up a bit.
Not necessarily. I mean, like the two versions of True Grit are very, very similar. Clearly, they watched
Okay.
the 1969 True Grit before they made the 2010, but the 2010 version does not indicate that the 1969 version has anything to do with it.
Okay.
So I'm not counting that. I wouldn't count it anyway. It wouldn't make my top 5, but I wouldn't count it.
So good.
Interesting.
This does mean there's a couple pretty big missing films from my list.
Interesting.
The other thing, just to make it spicy, I did decide that all 5 of mine had to be better than the original.
Oh.
See, and that's
Okay.
where. Do you have any other criteria before I jump in?
I will say a couple of these, I just made that big deal about, like, it has to officially credit the original. If there is extenuating reason to know that it is a remake, even if it's not specifically indicated. And for me, the big obvious example, the producers of the 1960 film Yojimbo successfully...
Did you say Yo Jimbo?
Yojimbo.
Yo Jimbo.
Yeah.
Yojimbo.
What a progressive way to talk back then. I didn't know yo was like a thing back then.
It was. Yojimbo!
Yeah.
Got a samurai over here.
Yeah.
No.
That was good.
The producer,
That was real
it was
good.
terrible and should be cut.
I really enjoyed it.
The producers of that film, 1960 Japanese film directed by Kurosawa, successfully sued the producers of A Fistful of Dollars. So even though A Fistful of Dollars is not in any way credited as a remake, in the eyes of the international court system, it is. So that sort of thing I would count.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Now,
dear God.
in that
Oh, dear
particular
God.
case, I think that A Fistful of Dollars is not better than Yojimbo, so that didn't make my list. But other similar cases
You're making
do.
this
Holy
very
crap, Tim.
stressful.
I was very serious.
Will
about
you
this
tell
list.
me when I go through mine if I meet your criteria?
You will
Yeah.
meet my criteria on none of your cases. I am
Okay.
sure.
And I aspired, I fall short a lot, guys. Like, that's a common thing on this podcast.
That's your
6'2",
bit.
6'3"?
My bit is to
That's
know
my
things.
role.
Carrie is to be amusing. I'm to know things, and you're just to be like
I don't know. I don't
like
try.
an empty pudding pop.
I aspired, I wanted to. Well, number one,
I just bring the facts.
I didn't care if it was. I wanted it would really limit my list to. And it would have required a lot of research to go through, and I didn't want to spend that kind of time to go through to see if there was a source material, like a novel written
This
about.
is why you got to
that-
start working on your list like 6 weeks in advance,
Yeah.
like I do, man.
I didn't check to see if it was an original screenplay.
Okay.
Right.
That sort of thing. What I did want to do and then couldn't do because I haven't seen a lot of the originals in my list. So I wanted to rank mine at least based on the gap between how good the original was versus the remake, because it's about top 5.
So how do you do that if you
remakes.
haven't seen the original?
So now I'm just saying, was it a remake?
Okay.
Was there some sort of source material originally?
Alrighty.
And was this redone? I didn't care if it was adapted from a novel or anything. And then it's just best movie that are remakes in quotes.
I'm doing with all my other rules, like I'm just ranking the films.
Okay.
Like I thought about doing the gap between the original and the remake, but I couldn't quite.
Because I can tell you right now, have not seen any of my 5 originals, and that's the limitation that I have as a film scholar,
some. I've
non-film
seen some.
scholar.
I sought out one of these films in the last week to make sure that I had seen the original, so that
You've seen, Carrie, you've seen all 5 of your originals?
I didn't say that. I said I've seen
She said
some.
Some. How many is some?
more than one and
yeah,
fewer
it's
than
hard to
5.
estimate.
Make sure to mention it when you get there.
Will do.
I'm curious.
Sure.
All right. Number 5 to you then, Carrie.
Number 5 to me is not a particularly good movie, but it's worth mentioning for this particular episode because I'm not sure when I'll ever get to mention it ever again.
All right, I like it.
So if I tell you the original, will you know the remake?
Maybe.
This one's brought to us in 2015, and it is the
They've already remade a
What?
movie that came out in 2015.
Wait, what?
Did you say
no,
the original?
The remake was
Oh,
in
okay.
2015. The original is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh my God, Carrie.
No, I have to do it. I have to.
What? How is it remade?
So this is Raiders, the story of the greatest film ever made.
Okay, so what we're dealing with here is you just don't have enough movies. That you've seen
No, I
that
have
remakes.
so many. I have so many, but this has to make the list as like one of the greatest remakes of all time.
I guess it is a remake. Tim.
I
Is
see
it a
where
remake?
she's going for. I like it.
It's a remake.
Except, isn't the film you're putting on your list a documentary about the remake?
It's a remake.
So the film is the remake. I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't? So let me tell you about
So
it.
just say yes that you're talking
Oh.
about the movie that the high school kids remake shot
they
for
weren't
shot.
they weren't in high school. They're kind of old.
Well, they
They started in high school and then
Yeah.
like grew.
But you're not talking about the documentary. You're talking about the movie that they
The
made.
actual movie that they made.
Raiders.
Within that documentary for Raiders of the Lost Ark. So this was directed and written by Jeremy Kuhn and Tim Scusin. So I just feel like if you are a passionate IJ fan out there,
I'm sorry, what was that? What is it?
IJ fan.
IJ fan?
Indiana
Is that a
fan.
thing?
I mean, I heard some people saying it. So I'm going to start using it.
You
Don't use it
you
ever
heard
again.
yourself in the bathroom saying, "Ooh, if I say IJ, I'll sound cool."
I talk about it enough. I need to start using an acronym. So this is in 1981. These two 11-year-olds in Mississippi go out to remake their favorite film, which is a little bit misguided, but like what should be their second favorite film, Raiders of the Lost Ark. They do this shot by shot scene of this entire movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, like in their basement. Complete with like when they light the shots on fire in the bar. You know what scene I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. They do that. They do like all the fight scenes, the airplane scene. This movie, if you are a fan, is not to be missed. This is Raiders, the story of the greatest film ever made. It's a super cool, super fun nostalgia trip.
And Tim, I know
Remake.
you're an original type of person from a if you were making something, you wouldn't want to make a remake. Like you don't strike me as a remake type of person if you were directing.
I don't tend to, no.
As a kid, like even as
This
an
is the
adult,
dream.
like my dream would be to remake a movie shot by shot, and
It's
I
like,
would feel
punch
so
to the
complete.
face.
So
I would feel so complete
Psycho
by
is going to
doing
be
it.
number 1 on your list, is what you're telling me.
I am a psycho, but no, it is not number 1 on my
Be
list.
your mother.
But like, I would love to have done what these kids did, and accomplished so well. Like this is before
It's so
before
good.
Linux days, Tim. This is before Linux days.
I don't know. It might have been during Linux days.
This is on their like. I'm sure this is like their camera is like on their shoulder.
No. But let me so the documentary goes into this is like this is 1980s
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. They went to go see it and they retained the knowledge
Everything.
of the shot by shot and like rewrote the script. It's not like you go pick up a script off of Google and like get
Have
the
to see
script.
this.
Like they saw the movie, they retained all the knowledge and the sequences of the shots. And when you see the movie set up side by side with
Yeah.
the original, and they do that in the documentary, it's amazing.
It's
Like,
really
it's
good.
incredible.
You
So,
would love
yeah,
it.
It's a cool thing.
I need to see it. I'm
yeah,
sure it's a fun
you
time.
would you would enjoy it.
Yeah, and especially since that's your favorite of the IJ films.
It is. By the way, I think what you need to go with
Yeah.
for IJLC. Just call it Idjlik.
Yeah.
We'll know what you mean.
Yeah, the Idjlik, yeah.
Idjlik.
I'm curious, Tim. Where are you starting? Where are you starting us out at number 5?
All right, so my number 5 is one of those legally a remake, but not actually on screen as a remake. But the producers of this film did buy the remake rights to the 1957 airplane disaster movie 0 Hour. And their remake is basically the same screenplay with some additional scenes here and there just for absurdity's sake, done rather than as this nail-biting thriller, as a ludicrous, stupid comedy. And the result was 1980's Airplane.
Wait, what was the one before it?
0 Hour.
0 Hour.
1957 airplane film. Huge portions of the screenplay are verbatim the same.
Huh.
And if you, like me, have seen Airplane a billion times, when you finally get around to watching 0 Hour, and there are lines of dialogue like, we need to find someone who can not only fly this plane but didn't have the fish. It's like, oh my God.
Does he say the Shirley line?
They're saying, they don't say the Shirley line.
Oh, well, then
there's
it's
a
not
lot of
really a
lines.
remake.
Sure.
Surely it's not.
Surely it's not. But no, it's an amazing, first off, 0 Hour is kind of, it's fine. It's dumb. It's forgettable. Airplane is, of course, a classic, but it's amazing to see how much you can change the tone of moments without really doing anything visible. Like, it's all the actors in Airplane are still being very, very serious. Like, that's the joke. But it somehow is so funny, and nothing has changed in a lot of ways. It's just kind of like something
Leslie
about
Nielsen.
something about it being too over the top, like
Yeah.
in its seriousness. So that's kind of what I love about it, is that it's this remake that completely changes everything about the original, makes it better, makes it more fun, while leaving the text so largely intact. It's really, really interesting.
Did you know that was a remake?
We did top 5 parodies. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
this one
Airplane
came
was
in,
on there,
yeah,
but
Airplane was
I
on
didn't
there,
know
and
it was a remake.
I think Tim had mentioned that. Yeah, so I have not seen 0 Hour, but
It's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it if you know Airplane well, or it's worth doing them as a double feature.
for me, my 5, I have not seen any of my original movies for this, but I didn't realize how closely to the source of the movie. And Tim, you'll have to tell me if this was sourced somewhere else, but I didn't realize how closely sourced this was to the original. I always thought of the original, knowing a little bit about it, is this kind of campy 1958 movie. But reading the synopsis of it, it's a scientist has a horrific accident when he tries to use a newly invented teleportation device because something sneaks into that teleportation device.
This is Bill and Ted's
Some
Excellent
kind
Adventure.
of bug.
Not Bill and Ted's. No, it is in fact
No?
some sort of bug, and more specifically, Tim,
Is it a fly?
it is in fact a fly. I've not seen the original.
Oh, you should.
I've seen shots of the original of the fly, and it looks ridiculous.
It's great.
Is it really a good movie?
I like the original Fly slightly more than I like the remake.
Oh my gosh, the remake.
It's
The
good.
The 1986 David Cronenberg, winner of an Oscar for makeup, right? I think it was.
I think so.
Yeah.
It certainly deserved one. It's
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
makeup.
And the real life couple at the time, Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis, starring.
Good couple.
Starring in it. Yeah, they coupled well, and Jeff Goldblum played the neurotic side. I mean, that's what he does. He's a neurotic
Yeah,
guy. He does it
twitchy
in
dude.
Twitchy. We got Jurassic Park coming up again soon, which he'll be. I think he'll be. I think he's in it, right?
He's in the new one.
Twitchy, he's doing it at his peak Goldblum. Actually, he's peak Goldblum all the time.
Was that the nude guy?
He's
from-
never not peak.
He's never not.
See the nude from our poster?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, very
Okay.
much wanted to be him.
We should
so.
just know that all of your picks are going to be the
Probably
poster.
the most representative of my
Yeah,
body, though.
yeah,
Like
probably.
that was
Yeah, that
straight
is
up.
exactly
I am
what
Jeff
Rob looks like
Goldblum's
naked,
body
actually.
type.
All right.
Yeah.
So for those who want to think about that, but directed by David Cronenberg, who has how would you describe his directorial style, Tim? Like
Body horror.
body horror.
Extreme body horror.
So when things start falling off a young Jeff Goldblum, it gets really interesting. His ears start to come off. But again, he's also a scientist, eccentric scientist. Does
Gina stay with him after he turns into the fly?
She wants to. He's
Yeah.
somewhat not pleasant to look. Have you not seen the
No,
sequel
no, of
or the
course
remake?
not.
Excuse
I
me.
wouldn't.
Well, there's also both
also
versions
a-
have a sequel.
Oh, I didn't know that the original had a
Is there
sequel.
still like romantic situations after he turns into the fly?
Initially,
That's
Yeah.
a good. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. For the first
there's
one.
a scene, a memorable scene. One might say the most memorable scene of the 80s
Mm-hmm.
that deals with the potential ramifications of a romantic situation.
I'm not actually sure where a fly's, situation lies.
Mm-hmm.
Does the fly have a situation?
This fly has a situation.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, half human, half
so
fly. He's
gross.
slowly turning himself into a fly.
That's so
91%
gross.
Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's a classic movie to see, especially like probably one of the easiest Cronenberg movies to see, which is
digest.
To digest.
Is that what you were gonna
I was
say?
going to say digest, which would for those who've seen it.
It's a joke.
Would you say also like the easiest David Cronenberg movie to take in?
No, because of the scene we're not talking about.
Yeah.
You're talking about the do it scene?
Well,
it's not a do it scene.
Is it a barf scene?
It's not a barf. Well, there's a barf scene, but it's not the barf
Flies
scene.
barf like every 10 seconds.
There's a fly that barfs.
There is a
in
barf
there.
scene, and you learn all about fly
flies also
barfing.
pee like very frequently too.
He doesn't
pee.
He doesn't pee a lot.
No.
Let's just say, so after you do it, sometimes, not always, sometimes you end up a little bit knocked up.
Oh,
And the movie...
That's how
The movie runs with that for a little bit.
Yeah.
gross.
It kicks the wheels on that idea.
The good news is it would have good vision, maybe.
With Oscar makeup, like Oscar-winning makeup, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't think I want to see this.
Yeah,
It's so good.
It's so good.
It's a good movie. Like I adore the
Poor
original. This
Gina.
is still a great movie. I will say for me, this certainly does not cross the threshold of. I think that these are two adaptations of the same source material.
Okay, see, I didn't. Okay, so there's some novel or some sort of source.
There's not a whole lot of overlap in the actual stories.
Okay, all right. I'm
It's
fine
still
with,
a great
I'm fine with
movie.
that. It sticks with my criteria. I'm good.
If we're going to say what is the most approachable David Cronenberg film, that's a really ridiculous thing to try to say. I think A History of Violence is less off-putting than The Fly.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or Eastern Promises, potentially.
Eastern Promises has the naked fight scene,
Which
though.
is like that's worth it on its own.
It's
Like
it's great, but it's distressing.
I don't know what you people are talking about.
Okay,
but-
Have you
we'll
not
watch
seen
it
Eastern
later.
Promises?
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
There's
I
like
haven't seen.
4 minutes of Viggo Mortensen just buck naked punching people with his
Naked fight
his
scene.
rather
Dressing.
substantial weenus, just like
Oh yeah,
swinging.
No, he's a shower. That's for sure.
He is.
Yeah. Great.
We've killed Rob. Rob is dead.
Rob's checking out now.
4 do you care?
4 to me is going to be a little unconventional. I, in the entire history or 2 years or however long we've been doing this podcast, have
Feels
never.
like it's been an entire
It
history.
feels like a long time. Have never really had this much trouble coming up with a list. I literally could not choose my number
But
4.
you've seen movies on the Wikipedia list.
No, I have. But my thing is, all 4 of these were completely tied. I have no way of choosing. Like, I literally couldn't choose. So, have you guys ever played Heads Up, Thumbs Up?
No,
Do you know what that is?
not at all.
You didn't go to school. It's a school thing that they do that teachers do, that they are trying to like get to the end of the school day by like distracting children. And it's
No,
kids,
that I've done.
yeah, kids.
Wait, is
kids,
this Heads Up 7 Up?
That's what I just said.
You
You said heads up, thumbs up.
It's both. There's multiple words for this. So what I'd like you to do is not look. I'm going to name 4 movies, and you guys thumbs up on your favorite when I read the 4, like which one's the
What,
best.
is this your
But
list?
then we'll know your list.
No, but this is going to be my 4th pick. I need help.
Oh, so you have.
I have
1,
4
2,
movies.
Oh, so you have
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and then you have 4, 4, 4, 4.
Okay.
Yeah, and I need the top 3 I've got. I need help on the 4th.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so don't look. Don't look at me. Close your eyes.
Wait. I have to hear all of them, though.
No, I'm going to read them all once.
Read them all, and then we'll give you a
I'll
thumbs
read
up.
it again and then put your thumbs up. And if you guys match, I'm going to do that one, okay? Because I think hopefully you will.
Okay.
So are your eyes closed?
Yep.
Are you really closed?
Yep.
Okay. You've got. Don't put your thumbs up until I've gone through the full list twice.
You've got Mel's not going to be the one I thumbs
You've
up.
got. don't tell Rob. I want this to be very unbiased.
I'm right there with you, buddy.
So okay, all right, it's very good.
On the other hand, if you have not seen The Shop Around the Corner, you really should. It's phenomenal.
I should.
It's
I know.
so good. You'd love it.
I did love You've Got Mail too, though. Okay, so are you guys ready?
Yep.
Okay, You've Got Mail, Meet Joe Black, I Am Legend, A Christmas Carol, Planet of the Apes.
Which Christmas Carol and which Planet of the Apes?
The Christmas Carol that I saw, you don't know which one.
Okay.
But it was a remake where there was the Scrooge guy that was dead.
No, I
Okay.
get that. I'm not
Okay.
far.
So I'm going to go back through the list again.
And,
Thumbs up on the one.
which Planet of the Apes?
Oh dear God, there's so many questions. The second one?
The 2001 Tim Burton film starring Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
That's a very bold choice to even think about putting on your top 5.
I don't know what you're saying. Okay, let's just pull Planet of the Apes out. So we're gonna go back to You've Got Mail, You Meet Joe Black, I Am Legend, and A Christmas Carol were the good one.
Okay.
Okay. You've Got Mail, Meet Joe Black, I Am Legend, A Christmas Carol. Okay. So not a tie. Rob went Meet Joe Black. You went I Am Legend.
What is wrong with you, Rob? Jesus fucking Christ.
Martin Prest at his best. No, I'm just joking. It's not his best.
I loved all of these so much. I'm going to go with I Am Legend. Can somebody tell me who wrote and directed that?
It was directed by Francis Lawrence, who also did the second, third, and fourth Hunger Games.
Okay. That's my fourth. Did you like this?
I did.
What is this a remake of again?
It's a remake of, it's a new adaptation of the novel I Am Legend by Richard Matheson, which had previously been filmed as The Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price and The Omega Man with Charlton Heston.
I'm so thankful for you.
We have 2 Vincent Price movies. He was in The Flight as well, too. The original
right.
Flight. Yeah,
Meet Joe Black was really good too, Rob.
It was very good.
But I'll go with I Am Legend.
Not very good.
This had
Not
Will
very good. It was
Smith
good.
and a dog.
Will Smith and a dog.
And it was an alien movie where you couldn't go out into the sun.
An alien movie?
Yeah, there's those things
Those
that are bald.
zombies.
Zombie
Zombie
things.
movie.
Yeah, it's like zombies that are out. That's out there.
Biggest flaw with this movie, it's CGI does not hold up.
Oh,
I wish
I
they
don't
would have
agree.
done
I
practical.
haven't seen it since it was in theaters.
I haven't either. But it was so,
so
good
bad.
when I
So
saw
bad.
it. So
Zombies.
risky, so good. So that made my number 4 because I couldn't decide, and it was really painful for me to get there. But I really like this. You don't think it would hold up if we saw it again today?
I think it would. I think Rob is just a little whiny pants.
See the zombies and then come back to me.
They're like the
They do
bald
not-
things, and they
No,
can't get
it's
in the
all
heat.
It's all CGI zombies
Yeah, but they were
from
I thought they were
2001.
pretty
Do you have the
good.
year? Oh yeah, it's not going to hold up. You're not going to like
Will
it.
Smith is very good in it, though.
He is very, very.
I would
Yeah,
go
it
so far as
was.
to say it's the last great Will Smith performance.
Yes.
How sad was it with the dog?
It's pretty
Don't
sad.
say anything about
I
that.
said it was
It was
2006.
Yeah.
7.
7.
Yeah.
It's 2007.
Good. Yeah, I really liked. I like this.
Not
movie,
on anyone's
but
list?
I just wish the damn zombies were better.
No, you've got mail on anyone's list either, or Meet Joe
No.
Black? What was
Although You've Got Mail does meet my criterion of being a remake and
Better.
not a readaptation.
Yeah.
lot of movies.
Surely does not meet that criteria.
A lot of
I love
movies
You've Got
adapted
Mail.
from like French films.
Yes.
I saw that when I was going through my list as well.
Did you
too.
put the remake of Breathless on your list?
No, I did. I
That's
did
too
not.
bad.
So that was my number 4.
Nice.
Thank you for the help.
Sure.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
So my number 4 is a film that's been much on my mind over the past few days. I rewatched it very recently, and the reason for this is it just recently had a spin-off. So my number 4 is 2001's Ocean's 11, remade from 1960's Ocean's 11. Anyone else have
That's
this?
on Rob's list.
It's all on both. Not on your list.
No, it's my number 1.
It's my number 1
Hey, I
Hey-o.
apologize.
High five.
I
Reach a
feel
little
like
further.
I just stole.
of
No.
the movies on my list. This is the best one.
It is.
My favorite.
Of the movies on my list, this is the 4th best one because
Okay.
I have seen more and better movies than you.
Spread between original and remake though,
Vast.
but compared to the other spreads.
I have one that is so vast that I'm not even sure how it was remade. And we'll get there. That is my number 1.
Okay.
So yeah, Steven Soderbergh directed. I feel like since this is my number 4 and it's both of your number 1, I should let one of you like take over
You
for me.
usually are more articulate, but
So this is a movie about some guys who steal a thing, but before they can steal it, they have to like write a plan to steal it. And
best
it's also in
plan.
Las Vegas.
which makes it
And
good.
and there's an Italian guy who they're stealing from, but he's also Italian, Danny Ocean, even though I don't think he's called Italian, but George Clooney's Italian.
But
Is he Italian?
Danny Ocean is George Clooney.
Yeah. So
But
he's
the
Italian.
guy that they're stealing from
Is Andy
is
Garcia.
Andy Garcia.
Who I think
Exactly.
is he might be Spanish though. I think he's Italian. He's either
Also
Italian
from
or Spanish.
Book Club
He wasn't
fame.
The Godfather, but he's not Italian. That's what always confuses me.
Yeah, I
Am
can
I
see
being
where that-
sufficiently articulate for it?
But his name is
You
like Tony
are.
or something in the movie, so he plays in it. He plays
No, his name is Terry Benedict.
Terry Benedict.
Benedict.
Oh, that's right.
Devil T.
Yeah, so it's a heist
He's-
movie. It's the great heist movie of modern days.
I think there's nothing higher than this. I'm curious to see what else you'll have. There's no
Nothing cooler, like nothing
Nothing
no
more
group
perfect.
I want to be a part
The
of and like
music.
hang out with. And I wish that they would pick me to be in there. I don't know what
I
skill
think you
set
could
I
have
would
been in
offer.
there.
You're not cool enough. I'm not cool enough.
Yeah.
Carrie's not cool enough. That's part of what makes it so cool.
Yeah.
We get
Oh.
to hang out with people who are way better than we are.
And this
At
movie,
everything.
this movie does silence, like pauses between, like beats. I guess
Oh,
they
yeah.
call them in the industry, like beats between things, like between dialogue, better than anything
The
else.
scene where George Clooney and Brad Pitt are at a bar and George Clooney keeps like running ideas past Brad Pitt and Brad Pitt doesn't in any way, shape, or form respond.
So good.
And Clooney keeps like adjusting his conversation as though Brad Pitt had. Beautiful scene.
so good.
A lot
Flawless
of Brad Pitt eating, which I know is
A lot of Brad Pitt eating.
he's
You
eating.
were,
and I just-
I think that's what Ocean's 8's missing.
Maybe that's
Kate
what it was.
Blanchett isn't constantly chomping on shit.
They had breakfast. They had breakfast.
Yeah, but she's not just like eating like a chicken leg in the middle
Right.
of a scene
Right.
for no reason.
You would be Matt Damon in that scenario, Rob.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be like the
I
one
would be
kind of
if
effing
I was
it
a
up.
character.
Yeah, for sure. There's nothing other. It's a 5-star movie to me. I love this movie so much, and that's why it's my number 1.
I should have probably prepared for this a little bit more with my number 4. I didn't realize.
Do you want to do a heads up 7-up thing again?
No. Prepared in the sense where I don't remember what the original was. I'm assuming it's something Nordic.
I can tell you. What is it?
Again, going Nordic here.
Nordic.
This is a Christopher Nolan movie that I actually really enjoyed.
It is a Swedish film.
Swedish, so I was close. I was in the
Well, I
vicinity.
hasn't even said
think
the
Nordic
title
indicates
yet.
he's referring to the beautiful Swedish film Interstellar. He's not. He's talking about Insomnia
I'm talking about Insomnia. That's
How did
amazing,
you know
Tim.
that?
because it's the only Chris Nolan film that's a remake.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
And also, you said Nordic, so I was already thinking it might be Insomnia even before you said Chris
This
Nolan.
is a good game.
if I recall, Tim, you're not high on this movie.
It might be my least favorite Chris
Isn't
Nolan
this
film.
but still fresh
Robin Williams?
for you. It is Robin Williams playing the antagonist in this movie as a potential serial killer.
Taking pictures?
No, that's 1 hour photo.
Exactly.
He may take photos
He also
in,
does
in
that
this
in
movie
that.
as
Good
well. but
catch.
I wouldn't
Good
be
catch.
surprised if he does.
This is kind of a down on his, not like he's Al Pacino struggling as a homicide detective. He's dispatched to Alaska, I believe it is,
Somewhere far north.
where the sun does not set, so it's always light.
Mm-hmm.
And he's struggling. He's struggling to keep retain his sanity
He's
while
having a
chasing
hard time
murder.
sleeping.
Having a
right?
hard time sleeping. Yes,
I mean,
he has
he has
insomnia.
insomnia.
So this is remade from a Swedish movie,
Yes,
which you've seen,
I have seen both.
and between the two,
They're very, very, very similar movies, and when in doubt, I will always give preference to the one that came out first.
yeah, no, that's how I'm usually
Like
that way.
there's
as well.
just not enough quality difference between them for me to otherwise.
I
distinguish.
really like this movie. Al Pacino bringing it, kind of like one of the last things I've seen him in, where I really was like, "Wow, Al Pacino still can do it." I haven't
Yeah,
said
that checks out.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I haven't seen much after that, aside maybe from
You
that.
need to see 88 Minutes.
Okay.
It's very bad.
Okay. No, I've seen 88 Minutes.
Oh,
I recognize that it is
Very
bad.
bad.
There's a movie where he was like a singer, kind of like a Tony.
Al Pacino?
Oh yeah.
Which you haven't seen.
No,
Tim,
I
but
haven't.
Carrie and I saw.
Raging Bull?
No.
No.
It's like the name.
It's his name.
Is it like
That's a pretty good movie.
Bill or Billy?
Oh,
Bobby?
Yes.
Yeah, Bobby would be.
No.
People know.
Yes, I know what
People
you're
who are
talking
listening
about.
right now
Yes,
know
yes,
what I'm talking
yes.
Well, you keep talking about
It's like
Insomnia.
Bobby Durham or
Something like
yeah,
that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a 92% of Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb gives 7.2. I know it's not originally written by Christopher Nolan. And I typically like those better, but I really enjoyed this movie.
Okay.
Hilary Swank's in it.
It's been a while for me, but I'll have to rewatch it again.
Danny Collins.
Danny
Yes.
Collins. Good movie. Worth
Oh,
saying.
I don't know. I didn't. It was really depressing.
Worth saying.
He's like dying.
True story,
isn't
based on
he?
true
Is
story.
he dying? Does he die? Something
dying.
happens. He's
He
like
just has a realization.
Some problems.
Has a realization.
All right.
Because
Oh, yeah.
his life. He has again based on a true story. Don't
ever watch this movie.
No, it's worth it.
Sure.
Well, we have lost our way. We were supposed to be talking about Insomnia, not Danny Collins.
I know. One of my favorite remakes.
Okay. So speaking of remakes that are slightly better than whatever Rob just talked about, I'm going to give you guys this one, and this is a little tricky, and there's no games involved in this when I say Ringu. Have you heard of Ringu?
I have seen Ringu.
Is Ringu good?
I like it a lot better than The Ring.
Really?
Not
I've
a
never
lot.
seen
I like
Ringu.
it somewhat better than
Did
that.
you like the Ring though?
It's okay.
I saw
so
The Ring.
scary.
I think it's the thing where whichever one you see first, you like better.
Okay.
Of these two, and I saw Ringu first.
So scary.
I saw The Ring. In
You
an
pooped your
empty
pants.
empty theater.
Oh my god.
myself.
Oh,
Shit, man.
Yeah.
it's
That's
so scary.
I don't know if I.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I still have nightmares about it.
I do too.
It's the first time I saw. I think it's like really Naomi Watts' first U.S.
2002, yeah.
right?
Naomi
First US.
Watts, Martin Henderson's in this, Brian Cox. Didn't make your list? So friggin' scary.
Incidentally,
Yeah.
Insomnia is Norwegian. You were right the first time.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. What did it? I think I remember seeing it on there, and I didn't
Yeah.
think anything of it. Like it is probably better than. I think
it's
of it
so
higher
scary.
than Insomnia. Maybe.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you might have me.
Yeah.
you might have me.
So Rachel Keller is a journalist played by Naomi Watts, and she's investigating this videotape that supposedly has killed 4 teenagers. There's this legend about the tape that everybody who views it will die within 7 days of seeing it. And if that's true, she has to race to save the life of her son as well as herself. I think this has probably been redone a bunch of times, even in like weird ways now, because I've seen it in some stuff.
It kicked off a fad for J-horror
With
remakes and J-horror
like I looked at a picture,
films.
yes. But this to me was when I saw
it's the best
this,
of the U.S. J-horror films for sure.
So good, so scary. This is the one, isn't there like a well?
There is definitely a well. There is no question that there's a well.
God, there's a well, and you're just like, oh, I wanted a well, and now I can never have a well because I might die.
Inadvertently be consumed by the vengeful spirit of one of your daughters after you throw them in the well.
Die! Oh, don't tell.
I think often
everyone knows how the ring ends.
I think often forgotten that this is a Gore Verbinski film. And
this is one of the reasons I was so excited for The Cure for Wellness. I was excited to see Gore Verbinski return to the horror.
Literally just poop your pants scary, for sure. Never watch this alone. You have to hold a hand.
Especially not alone in a giant movie theater where you are the solitary human.
So bad.
That is some fucking
So that's
shit.
my number 3, and I feel real good about it. So scary.
Good pick.
So does that move to your number 3?
My number 3, which is an official remake of an unofficial remake.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So the film on my list is 1954's A Star is Born. Remade from 1937's A Star is Born, which is itself an uncredited but oh so very obvious remake of a film called What Price Hollywood. Both of those are great films.
I thought you said A Star Was Born is terrible. I thought it was isn't that a animated film?
That's The Star.
Oh. You said that was bad.
That's really
I'm
bad.
glad that we can translate what's in your mind, Care, so
I know.
quickly and so
I
easily.
love it
That's
so much.
That's an amazing feat.
It's so nice. And that I can have
Too many years on this podcast.
Right.
Clearly.
No, I have so much information that you guys just fill in the holes. It's so nice.
So What Price Hollywood is a great film. Star is Born 1937 is a great film. But A Star is Born 1954 is just next level. It is one of the great American films of the 1950s. Stars Judy Garland as Esther Blodgett, a young woman, very, very shy, doesn't really know how to put herself out there, but she has one hell of a voice. And she gets discovered by an actor. Oh my God, I can't think of the character name, but played by James Mason, a very beloved Hollywood star who's been having some huge problems with alcohol lately. So he goes for a late night, get fucking plastered, goes to the nightclub where she's singing after hours, hears her sing. It's amazing. He decides, okay, the one thing I'm going to do, I will redeem my entire career just for the sake of putting this woman in movies, just for the sake of getting her out in the world, because the world needs to appreciate this. They fall in love. As his career continues to disintegrate, her career just skyrockets, and eventually choices have to be made about is he holding her back, and how is that going to happen for both of them. So that's the story in every version. The first 3 that I've already talked about was remade again in 76 with Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson, getting remade again this year for the 5th time.
I saw
it looks
this.
good.
It looks so bad. Are you two people fucked in the head?
Oh no!
Well, I didn't know Carrie agreed
I didn't
with
know
me.
it was a
Did you agree?
remake. I
Did
just
you
thought it
think
looked
looked
good.
You don't think it's gonna
with
look good?
I
Bradley
think it
Cooper,
looks
right?
world historically bad.
Well, it's because you've seen the originals. I actually did not know it was a remake, so when I saw it, it's Bradley Cooper and
Lady Gaga.
and Lady Gaga.
You don't get
I
like
think it looks tremendously bad.
Do you feel like Lady Gaga has a little bit of a presence?
No. I think she has anti-presence. That's part of the reason I think it looks bad.
Interesting.
I will say this, the Christopherson Streisand version is so terrible, I never assumed a worse version could be made, and I think a worse version might have been made.
I'm not a Gaga fan, but
I'm not either, but I like the type of music that they have in the remake.
Well,
Kind
and
of
I
like
like
the
that she's not
alt-country.
super flashy and whatever. I don't think I don't.
She's
know.
very plain in this movie.
Yeah.
And I've never seen her like that.
The one thing that I know is not going to be the case, I know it's not going to be better than the 1954 version, which is a masterpiece, early CinemaScope film, huge widescreen compositions that George Cukor, who directed, just fills to the brim with all kinds of interesting stuff. And it is by far Judy Garland's best performance.
You know Judy Garland, Care?
Yeah, of
Dorothy?
course.
Yeah, she's Judy Garland. Everyone knows Judy Garland.
Well, I didn't realize how tragic her life story
and
is.
this movie kind of taps into that a little bit.
Interesting.
It happened. So she had sort of a downswing and then a swing back up, and this movie came out during that swing back up, and then she had another downswing, and then she died.
Yeah, committed suicide. Is that right?
I don't think she committed suicide. I think her body just been so fucked up by all the pills that she'd been given
that's what I
throughout her
thought,
career
too.
that she just her body.
I
just
had no idea Liza Minnelli, her daughter.
You don't know anyone who's gay.
No, I guess not. Did you know Liza Minnelli is Judy Garland's daughter?
Yeah, obviously.
You
Rob.
did not.
This is-
Shut up.
Yeah. I mean, Rob,
You also
mean-
don't know anyone who's gay.
I may look casual, but I'm not that casual.
Anyway, masterpiece of a film. Judy Garland at her all-time best, belting out amazing songs, beautiful cinematography, just a great tearjerker, one of the great tearjerkers. Again, this is a top 5 movie of the 1950s for me.
We're gonna check back in, Tim, at the beginning of next year when Oscars are around. This is getting an Oscar release, Oscar buzz already, just from the trailer. We'll see.
It looks like ass, and I don't care if it's getting Oscar buzz.
Okay, we'll see. October release.
October. That's the thing. October is when you release movies that you want to look like you're giving an Oscar push, but you secretly know they're not good enough to get an Oscar push.
All right,
We'll see.
We'll see. I've got at my number. Where are we? Number 3.
You're 3.
All right, my number 3 is a remake of a Hong Kong thriller, a little cop thriller. Tim's already there.
I like the original so much better.
Again, I haven't seen
So
it. Have
much
not seen
better.
any
Oh,
of my
you
5.
should.
Yeah,
Yes.
but there's subtitles.
You can probably get it
So you can
dubbed
read,
because it's an
Rob,
action
just
film.
read.
I'll just read. But I really enjoyed it. I don't think, Carrie, I don't think you've seen the 2006 remake of this. This is The Departed, directed by Martin Scorsese.
The film that finally got Scorsese's Best
I've
Director
heard
Oscar.
it's
Yes.
so good. I've heard.
It is very good. And Best Picture nomination for Mark Wahlberg, which is an achievement unto itself.
Best Actor.
Best Act, what did I say?
Best Picture.
Yes.
I mean, Mark Wahlberg he's a talented, handsome man, but he's not an entire motion picture.
IMDb has this as the number 41 movie of all time, which I know what Tim's feelings are about IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes, though, 90%. So you probably were one of the many who gave it a fresh.
I'm part of the 90.
I enjoyed this, starring Leo.
I know who's in it. Yeah.
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
So it's an
Vera
undercover
Farmiga.
cop.
First time I ever really took notice of Vera Farmiga.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, me
The
too.
first of the many, many great roles where Vera Farmiga takes an absolute nothing woman in a guy-dominated film and still makes it the most
What else
interesting
is she
character. Billions of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing that
Good
jumps
for
to
her.
mind.
Have you seen Up in the Air?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
She's the woman who isn't Anna Kendrick.
The
The
love
mom
interest of
or
George Clooney.
the
The
wife
love
of
interest.
George Clooney.
She's the love interest.
Sure,
of
sure,
George
sure.
Clooney.
Who's I know what happens there.
Yes, you do. So this is an undercover cop played by Leo. So, okay, you have an undercover cop.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Who's
telling me
in the
more.
Boston, mafia?
He's in the Boston mob.
Boston mob. So he's a cop
Yep.
in the mob.
Yep.
Undercover.
Yep.
And then you have Matt Damon, who's
Yep.
part of the Boston mob,
Yep.
who's a mole in the
Yep.
police force. Amazing.
I mean, it's like a crossover
They
thing.
go,
Yeah.
they go against each other.
They go
Sure,
against
sure.
each other,
Yeah.
set it up. And Jack Nicholson against his equivalent is, what is it, Martin Sheen?
That sounds
I guess
right.
like that's the
Okay.
apples to apples. Again, it's Martin Scorsese. It's a little bit long.
Oh gosh, I love
It's a
police dramas.
2.5 hour
Just
movie.
Love them.
But there's enough intensity in this movie. I think it would keep you vested in this. But
I've heard
I love
it's
this
good.
movie. Have not seen the original. Tim saying check
Remake
it out.
of Infernal Affairs 2002, phenomenal film. I definitely like Infernal Affairs better.
Okay, I'll have
Okay.
to check that one out. But yeah, this is my number 3. Great acting. Won for 4 Oscars, I believe. Picture, director, adapted screenplay, and then editing. And got a nom for Mr. Marky Mark over there.
Alrighty.
Number 2, do you care?
Number 2 to me won like 1,000 Oscars. I don't even know how many it's won, but just so many. But this is my number 2 and last that I'll have, and this is the remake of the 1920s, The Golem. The Golem.
It's a remake of a
The
movie
Golem?
called The Golem.
The Golem. The
I mean,
Golem.
I know the movie The Golem.
It's the 2017 It Reloaded. It, like the movie with the clown, with like the clown that eats people.
Couldn't we just say that It is a remake of It?
I was trying to go with the original.
There's a
I
movie
don't-
called Golem that it's
Yeah, it's
based
from
on?
1920.
So Der Golem, which is a German
Yeah.
expressionist film that is definitely not the film from which it was remade, and I'm
It's-
not sure where you got your data.
This is really sound. So you'd say because this is a remake of a remake of a remake.
Let's just go with the remake of the 1990.
So the one with the guy, who's the guy from the other
Tim
It?
Curry.
Tim Curry. Should we just go with that one?
Let's go with that one.
What year was that?
1990.
Exactly. So 1990s, the remake. Let me go back. Just pretend this didn't happen. 1990s.
Where did you get this data that it was a remake of Der Golem?
It does say that in Wikipedia.
Yeah.
That is wrong.
No,
Is there
this
a
is
clown in that one?
because you did it with an exclamation point.
Because it's so exciting.
Yeah, no, this is a different movie entirely.
I know.
Well, it is a remake of it. Let's stick with it.
It
So
is
let's
a
just go with
remake
that.
of the
Let's go with that.
TV series.
Just go back like
or
20
TV,
seconds. Blip that whole thing out. No,
It's been longer than 20 seconds.
Is it like 25
It's been like
seconds?
a minute and a half.
It's been like a minute and a half. Go back like a minute and a half.
Yeah, different movie
Oh,
character.
I know. So, It, the original with Tim Curry from 1990.
Right?
It's
The only precursor. to
the
it.
only precursor to It Reloaded from 2017. This is Andy Muschietti's lovely movie and written by Chase Palmer. This has Bill Skarsgård, Super Creeper, who's the clown, Jaden Lieberher, famous for The Book of Henry, Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. This has like the whole cast of characters. This is the remake of It.
I think we all just need to stop and take a moment to appreciate the flagrancy and beauty, but flagrancy of the phrase famous for The Book of Henry.
People know him. Did you guys not think this is better than the original?
Oh, it's totally
one?
better than the
Of
original.
course, it's better than.
But
the
not on
original.
your list.
It's an adaptation.
And it's not of a
What's
movie.
it? You know, when you were talking about that adaptation thing earlier, I was like not actually paying attention. So why is it different than a remake?
Because they're readapting a work of literature. I mean, the thing is, like, if we're going to count every adaptation of a work of literature, then where do we cut off and where do we say, like, there have been 19 Romeo and Juliets? Are they all remakes of each other? And they're clearly not.
Oh shoot, I forgot Romeo and Juliet. I love the Leonardo DiCaprio one. Oh my
So
gosh.
Tim decided to go with like it was made for the big screen and then was remade. Not like not that it started out as something else, like a piece
and
of
then
work.
they made it.
And
I
then
see.
they
I
made it
see.
a movie, and then they made it again.
Would you say? But okay. I see what you're saying. I didn't do that.
We're only at like number 2 on the list, so it only took you there that long to.
That's
to
so
get
good.
there.
Good. I feel
The
much
movie
better.
has been recast. I don't know if you've been keeping up. And
Been
for
paying
those
attention.
People. Jessica Chastain has been cast as Beverly Marsh, and James McAvoy as Lieber,
Oh, really?
as the Lieber character.
as the clown.
No,
The clown is still the clown.
Still the clown.
It's still going to be Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Denbrow. Bill.
Oh, sure.
Jason
Okay.
Lieberman's character.
Yes.
However you say his last name.
Oh, I can't. I'm already excited.
Little Bill
about it.
Hader is Richie. So if you can buy into those casting choices, I'm
I
excited
can't
about the
believe
new
this isn't
cast
on anyone's list, though.
because it's not a movie for me. It's not a movie
But
remake.
to me, it's
The
a
original wasn't a
remake
movie.
of the original It. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good-
that's
It's
my
a
number
remake
2.
of the classic German film Der Golem. Please try to keep up, Rob.
Exactly. Get it together.
So
that's it for me.
All I have left is that's it. You're done.
I'm done.
All I have left is my number
I've
2.
got my
for the
2 and
best.
1.
Okay.
Maybe we'll overlap. Rob.
Okay.
So my number 2 is a remake by the same director as the original.
Okay.
Any guesses?
Give like a
The
rhyme.
Vanishing. You finally saw The Vanishing?
No.
Okay.
Do a rhyming
I'm
thing.
also
better with
pretty
rhyming.
confident. I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
This is 1959's Floating Weeds.
Coding Sneeds.
Coding Sneeds.
Is it? No.
Directed by Yasujiro Ozu, a remake of his 1934 silent film, A Story.
He waited
of
that
Floating
long?
Weeds.
Oh my goodness.
Have you seen this?
No, I don't see anything
It's-
before 1980.
A masterpiece. It is a stone cold. Here is the sales pitch, and the fact that this is my sales pitch not only will tell you everything about who I am, your response to it will tell you everything about who you are. The opening 6 minutes have the best use of a green beer bottle, like an empty bottle. It's like every shot, like the first 6 shots, all have like this beer bottle in different parts of the composition. It's pretty great.
Gosh. Yeah.
Sold.
No, like literally, the opening shot of Floating Weeds is my favorite opening shot in cinema. It is this amazing composition of blue water, a green bottle in the foreground, a white lighthouse in the background, perfect symmetry, gorgeous shot. It's actually on your website.
Oh,
I have put this image in my review of Floating Weeds, so you should go check it out.
I will. How many stars did you give it?
5.
Oh, it's a 5-star.
It's a 5-star. This is one of the all-time masterpieces.
Floating
The only
Weeds.
reason it's not my number 1 is because it's followed up by another all-time masterpiece on my list.
Okay.
So Floating Weeds is the story basically about a traveling theater troupe post-war Japan goes back to this very small town where the leader of the theater troupe has had a love affair, and during this love affair fathered a son. So he goes back. He knows that he's the boy's father. The mother knows that he's the boy's father. The boy doesn't know. The boy thinks he's just a beloved, long-lost uncle. And that's basically the movie. Is like, how does this situation sort of very softly and gently play out? This is late Ozu. Ozu was always all about like the most delicate possible interactions between humans.
Is this one subtitled?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So is Ozu
It's in
style,
Japanese.
more like
it's a Japanese art film.
Okay.
trying to like be an observer, like a fly.
Very much so. Very, very generous filmmaker. A filmmaker who was a great humanist. So that's basically what happens is like he wants to reconnect. He meets his old lover, his current mistress, gets really upset about this and tries to like interrupt what's going on. And it's just basically about like humans dealing with being human in this very wonderful way. Absolutely breathtaking movie. I believe it was Ozu's second, I think, film in color. And he is this amazing visual filmmaker, very well known for his very still compositions, very squared off compositions. And when you add color to that, he just creates these wonderful, wonderful images that just cut between each other in this amazing way. To me, Floating Weights is one of the absolutely essential films that everybody needs to see. And as much as I love the 1934 film, and it's a great film, it's one of the best Japanese silent films for sure that I've ever seen, the original just adds so much depth and is so much warmer. Like the remake rather is so much warmer. The original is very good, but it does have a certain level of judgment towards its characters that the remake just does not have.
That's not very common, right? To have the original director, like other than that's why I went with the Vanishing.
It was also done by Hitchcock.
Hitchcock
remade The Man
movies?
Who Knew Too Much.
I didn't know that. Okay, but not a common thing, right? Like
not
where a
terribly
director
common.
will like, hey, let me give that one another shot.
I mean, frequently we will say that a director feels like they keep remaking their own film, but that's an insult, and it's not actually official. This was official.
Got it. So I have my number 2 left, and it's basically like the stepchild or the younger brother in a lot of ways or sister of Ocean's 11, which was my number 1. This is a remake of the movie by the same name, The Italian Job, starring.
I have not seen either version of
I haven't
this.
You've not
either.
seen the Michael Caine version? I thought you gave me crap last time that why would
Well,
you
I
not want
did.
Michael Caine over
Well,
Mark
because I'm
Wahlberg?
confident the original is better.
No, Charlize Theron really like
Michael Caine versus
Wrong.
who's the lead?
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Michael Caine versus Mark Wahlberg.
But you also have Edward Norton as the antagonist, and you also have
love Ed Norton.
Donald Sutherland as the father figure. After being betrayed and left for dead in Italy, Charlie Croker, played by Mark Wahlberg, and his team plan an elaborate gold heist. Also, Seth Green in this is the little comic relief.
Oh boy.
Also,
weird.
first appearance, like for me, really noticing Jason Statham is in this.
Okay.
Is
I think I did know that actually.
fun,
I like
fun.
Seth Green
hip,
feels
snappy.
like a weird ad.
No.
Isn't he-
Computer hacker. He's a
Okay,
computer hacker.
okay.
Oh yeah,
He's
Seth
fun.
Green playing a
Yeah,
computer
yeah,
hacker.
that makes sense.
Makes fun little quips every once in a while. I really enjoyed this. Directed by F. Gary Gray, who has like a snappy feel, like does Fate of the Furious. Man Apart wasn't very snappy. Maybe it was snappy. Straight Outta Compton as well too. But I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed.
We talked about this a
seeing
long
the Mini
time
Cooper.
ago.
Yeah, this was on top 5.
Heists?
Yeah, top
Yeah.
5 heists for me.
We
And
had a
I think,
couple of returning titles from our top 5.
I think actually it was for me Italian Job and then Ocean's 11 for heists as
you
well too.
asshole.
So that's where I am again. So we're left back. We're wrapping.
Except Ocean's 11, you said was your number 1 this time.
It is my number 1 this time. And I think it was for last time. Should be.
I'm sure
Should-
mine
Absolutely
should have
was.
been for
I
sure.
think it was
was.
for. Maybe we all lined up on that one. I don't remember.
Did we? We'll look
No,
back.
because I don't think Ocean's 11 was my number 1.
Okay.
Maybe it was.
Should have been.
I don't know.
But we're back. We're wrapping back
So now we're
around.
my number 1. So there's only 2 possibilities. One is that you didn't know this was a remake, or one
You've got mail. I
is that
already
you
talked
haven't
about
seen it. Because if you've seen it and you don't think it's better than some of the films you just named, I don't even know what to do with myself. So here's a really weird situation. There is a 1934 French film, 1935 rather, French film called Fanfare of Love, Fanfare d'Amour. Officially, my film is a remake of that, but actually it's a remake of that film's remake from 1951,
I know what it is.
German Fanfare of Love. What is it?
A Fair to Remember.
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh.
So the director of this film saw the German version. He was a German speaker. He's from Austria. His name is Billy Wilder. Believed Fanfare of Love, Fanfaren de Liebe, was just a piece of shit, but it had a good concept. And that concept is 2 musicians try to find work by joining an all-girls group disguised as women.
Oh,
The remake being
wait. Some Like It Hot.
Some Like It Hot.
Oh, I can't. I feel so good about myself right now.
So Some Like
I
It
didn't know
Hot.
this was a remake.
It's a remake.
Yeah, I did not know it's a remake.
So this is what I was saying. Like, if it's not on
Marilyn
the list, you
Monroe
probably
is
just
in
didn't know.
this.
be honest, I don't know if it would have made my list either
You
way. But
fucker.
I know, I'm
You
sorry.
dirty
Would it have made
fucker.
your
Let me
list?
see if I can do it. Let me see if I can do it without you people. Marilyn Monroe.
Yes.
The guy from Grumpy Old Men.
Yes.
Jack Lemmon.
That's the one.
Nice work, Carrie.
Thank you. And then there's another man
is.
who's handsomer,
Yes.
stronger jaw.
Jamie
Definitely.
Lee's dad.
Curtis
Yes.
is his last name.
That's correct.
Bobby Curtis.
Tony Curtis.
Tony Curtis. I
Not bad.
loved this movie.
It's so good. It's the great English language film comedy.
Oh, it's
Full stop.
so good.
And what's incredible, I for the first time this week saw the German version. The French version has completely evaded me. I cannot find any version of it, even in one that's not friendly to English speakers. But Billy Wilder basically was remaking the German version. That's the one he saw. That's the one he knew. That's the one he thought was a piece of shit that needed to be fixed. The gulf of quality between these two films is impossible to describe. The German one is so insipid. The character, the female singer, just has no personality. Everything involving the mobsters isn't there.
Isn't as good.
The only it's just gone. Like the
Yeah.
only motivation they have is that they want money. There's no like we have to run to save our lives. So there's no conflict. So it doesn't really have an ending. It just sort of goes until everybody meets. The men, their secret is found out a lot earlier by several characters who are just sort of like, whatever.
Yeah.
So like the Marilyn Monroe character in the original version, like knows their guys and doesn't care really. And from this dreadful original, Billy Wilder fashioned such a whip-smart, impeccably plotted farce that has like 6 different conflicts, goes all over the place. Brilliant performances from Marilyn Monroe and Jack Lemmon. It is my favorite comedy. Just straight
I
up.
didn't know that.
It is my favorite comedy.
That it was your favorite
It
comedy.
is my favorite comedy.
Wow.
It is funny.
I didn't know that.
It's really good. Jack Lemmon as a woman is
It's
pleasurable.
pretty amazing.
it's pretty good.
Well, every week we ask you to share your picks and thoughts for a chance to win a free Amazon movie rental. Based on the results, here are your top 5 picks. So we had a lot of ties. A lot of
Okay.
people writing in as always. Tied for number 5, 310 to Yuma,
Okay.
the remake with
To me,
Christian Bale.
that's a pretty clear-cut case of 2 different adaptations of
Yep.
the same source material.
Yep. So that wouldn't fit your criteria, Tim. It would fit mine. I did enjoy the Western remake. There also had another Western, True Grit,
Yeah. Oh, you
which you
mentioned
mentioned doesn't meet your criteria.
That one kind of almost does though, because you can tell they were thinking of the original film, but officially it's not a remake.
And then matching up with me, The Departed, also tied at number 5. At number 4, Standing Alone, the Yojimbo remake, potentially. At least international law felt that way.
For me, the reason that
Fistful of
didn't show up
Dollars.
on my list is that I like Yojimbo better than Fistful of Dollars.
Well, there you go. Number 3, matching up with me as well, The Fly.
Ugh.
Also tied at number 3, Cape Fear. Another Scorsese
Oh,
flick.
sure.
Scorsese does a lot of remakes.
What's the one before that?
Cape Fear.
Oh, it was in Cape Fear
Cape Fear
2.
was a remake of Cape
Cape
Fear.
Fear in addition.
Not really heard much of the original, or
It's a very solid movie. The
Okay.
remake is probably better.
De Niro, so
How
creepy.
were none of my picks on this list?
Just wait.
I cannot.
Oh, okay.
Standing Alone at number 2, Ocean's 11.
Yes.
Which is surprising for me because I would have guessed that this would have been an audience number 1.
I'm pretty confident I know what the number 1 is, and
There's 2
There's 2.
tied.
Okay.
All right, go for it, Tim. What do you think?
Is one of them The Thing?
It is The Thing.
The wolf one?
I thought about The Thing a lot.
Yeah,
but
I think about your thing all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like a short thought.
Hey. No, so The Thing is a weird case where officially it's only based on the story Who Goes There. Clearly, John Carpenter had in mind the original film. We know this because he's a huge Howard Hawks fan. Also, they have the exact same title sequence. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to say it was official.
Okay.
It would have made the top 5.
Have you
What's-
seen the original Kurt Russell here with
no,
John
I've only.
Carpenter? Or starring,
I've seen this.
directed
I've
by
seen
John
the
Carpenter?
remake,
Seen the remake.
and I thought that was fine. It was good.
Yeah, but
Well,
this
that is the remake. The
People,
one starring
that's like
Kurt
the
Russell.
second remake.
There's The Thing from Another World, which was remade as The Thing, which had a prequel called The Thing.
I'll have to get back to you on that
Okay.
one. What was the number?
The other number 1 was the Maltese Falcon.
Oh.
What's that one?
Heist.
It's It's the third adaptation of the novel. I believe it was once adapted under the name The Maltese Falcon and once was not, but I'll never remember the name of the original adaptation.
Okay.
Our lucky winner this week, P. Callie, audience member who wrote in on the website, who had Imitation of Life, The Maltese Falcon.
Oh, Imitation of Life is a great choice.
That is a good one.
The Thing, Cape Fear, and The Fly. So a lot of symmetry between that and the audience picks. P. Callie, shoot us an email at contact@alterending.com for details on how to claim your free Amazon movie rental. If you want to win a free Amazon movie rental like P. Callie, be on the lookout for a spoiler alert or top 5 movie post on Facebook and Twitter to share your favorite picks. In closing, I want to thank everybody for listening. Check us out on social media. Go out to our Facebook page and like it. Hit us up on Twitter. Check us out on alterending.com where we're doing all of our movie reviews, blogs, podcasts, and more. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google, and don't forget about our Patreon. Next week with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Is that what it is?
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Hitting theaters. We're going to all...
Have I already said on the show my intense displeasure that it's not the Lost Park Jurassic World?
No, you have not. I don't think you've mentioned that.
I think that was a gimme, and they didn't take it.
Well, we're all sitting down to rewatch all of the Jurassic Park
all 4
movies.
Existent Jurassic Parks plus the new one.
Plus
for
the
our
new
next
one.
podcast.
And come back to share our thoughts on that. So we look forward to talking to you then.